One of the more common arguments against the Prophet Muhammad is that the Prophet Muhammad made up the Quran or Islam for his own self-serving desires. There there's two responses to this. The first response is the claim that Prophet Muhammad made up the Quran or Islam for his own self-serving purposes is a fallacious argument. It's called the fallacy of circumstantial ad hominem. Just because some benefits came to the Prophet Muhammad, that doesn't mean you render the Prophet Muhammad unreliable. It's like the fallacy of circumstantial ad hominem is like saying, this car salesman has motive to sell me this car, thus I can't trust this car salesman. So it's a fallacious argument. It's called the fallacy of circumstantial ad hominem. The second point I want to bring up is that even non-Muslim critics of Islam, like Montgomery Watt, these Orientalists, whatever, they agree that the Prophet Muhammad was sincere. So if the Prophet Muhammad was sincere, he wouldn't have made up the Quran or Islam for any kind of self-serving purpose. And another point is that the Prophet Muhammad faced uh, persecution in Mecca. He faced rejection and persecution, and people rejected him, etc. So the Prophet Muhammad, when he was in Mecca, received prosecution, or he received persecution for his beliefs, for spreading his beliefs, or spreading the religion of Islam. When he went to Medina, he faced death. He faced or Arab and Jewish and pagan tribes fought against him. So the Prophet Muhammad and the early Muslims faced death, but the Prophet Muhammad didn't back down. The Prophet Muhammad faced death and he did not back down. Now, does this sound like someone who's deceiving his followers, who's deceiving his listeners? The Prophet Muhammad faced death. He fought wars to protect or to spread the religion of Islam. So, if someone is not sincere, they wouldn't risk their life to spread their message. So basically, this whole claim that the Prophet Muhammad made up Islam for some self-serving reason, and the reason why I'm making this video is because someone just brought that up in the comments. So I thought this would be a good video topic. The reason why that argument doesn't work is because if you study the life of the Prophet Muhammad, you see that the Prophet Muhammad was sincere. He wasn't trying to deceive the people intentionally. So this refutes the idea that the Prophet Muhammad made up Islam for his own self-serving purposes. The other reason is because the Prophet Muhammad's life became worse when he became a prophet. It didn't get easier; it actually got worse because he didn't live in like luxury or whatever. He used to give away his money to help the poor, as found in the Hadith and Sahih Bukhari, etc. So his life actually got worse when he became a prophet. It didn't get easier; it actually got much worse, and it became more dangerous for him after he became a prophet because everybody was fighting against him. The Jewish tribes of Medina were fighting against him. The Arab tribes of Medina were fighting against him. The Meccans were fighting against him. So he faced opposition, or he faced war, or people waged war against him when he went to Medina, or at least three different factions, at least three different groups in Arabia fought against him, just for him being a prophet, or for him spreading the religion of Islam. So I think that refutes the idea that the Prophet Muhammad made up Islam for self-serving purposes. One, it's a fallacious argument. It's called the fallacy of circumstantial ad hominem. Two, the Prophet Muhammad was sincere. So if the Prophet Muhammad was sincere, he wouldn't have made up Islam for his own self-serving purposes. Three is the Prophet Muhammad's life became worse after he became a prophet. It didn't get easier. He had to give his money away in charity. He was fought against. He faced death, but he didn't back down. He had to go through prosecution and or persecution for his beliefs. When he was in Mecca, and people rejected him and fought against him when he was in Medina. So this shows that the Prophet Muhammad was sincere and he wasn't trying to deceive the people. Stay tuned, more videos.